to the 2018 Ocean City High School Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Please welcome your host for this afternoon, John Bruno.
Good afternoon. This should be a great afternoon as we honor 7 athletes, 2 coaches, and 1 team for their great success. The proceeds from today's ceremonies, including the sponsors and the souvenir booklet, will go toward a future scholarship program. Any donations toward the scholarship program can be sent here to the high school. Now, please join me in welcoming Ocean City High School's Director of Athletics, Mr. Vince Lee. Ocean City High School's principal, Dr. Matthew Jamison. And Ocean City Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Kathleen Taylor. At this time, can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today, and welcome to the 2018 induction ceremony for Athletic Hall of Fame. This Hall of Fame induction process, which culminates in today's events, remains an incredible opportunity for us to become even more deeply rooted in the Ocean City High School athletic history. At today's induction ceremony, Red Raiders, past and present, gathered to honor 7 legendary individual athletes, 2 legendary coaches, and 1 legendary team who have contributed so much to the athletic legacy. As you listen today to their amazing accomplishments, you will know why their hard work and their teamwork, their self-discipline, and their development of athletes has epitomized all that is good about our athletic program. I do not exaggerate when I say that our student athletes, past and present, are academic and athletic powerhouses, which is a constant source of pride and excitement among our school community and our community at large. The talent and sustained efforts of these former student athletes brings distinction to them and to their alma mater. I warmly congratulate our alumni athletes and our 2 former coaches and all those who contribute so much to the ongoing vitality of our school district and our athletic program. Go Raiders. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. I would like to thank Tom Williams for asking me to do this. It's quite an honor. So many former students, colleagues, coaches with me now. It's quite a pleasure to see all these people come back. Our first new Hall of Famer will be introduced by his high school coach. Please welcome Bill Moreland.
First, I'd like to congratulate all of the 7 athletes and the 2 coaches and the hockey team for their accomplishments. It's a fabulous experience to be inducted into a Hall of Fame. I have the honor here today to present one of my athletes who I first met, Brett, when he was at our babysitters. We shared my children, and he was the same babysitter with us, and Brett was Brett. He was large and in charge. You know, he took control of the babysitting facility, and from that point on, I knew Brett, he was going to take charge of something in his life. Fortunately for us, I don't know how old he was when he first came to our Tuesday night fun runs. That's how we first saw Brett as an athlete. And I'll never forget, I think it was the 400 meters he's running. Well, Brett's was kind of the crowd, and they get around about the 350 mark maybe, and then all of a sudden, it was like somebody shot Brett out of a cannon. Boom, there goes Brett. Had a fabulous kick, and of course he continued to develop all that, but he never liked to lose. It was born in him, I guess, to always be in the front of the pack. I can read you all his accomplishments. I got pages and pages of times, etc., but I'm going to try to highlight several of them. Brett won 9 South Jersey championships in cross-country, indoor track, and outdoor track. 3 state championships, again, indoors and outdoors, and 1 Meet of Champions champion. And then the biggest thing he wanted, well, not the biggest thing, but one of his things he wanted to try to do was emulate one of our previous runners at the Meet of Champions. He tried to make that double in the 1600 and the 800. It just fell a little bit short. But he went after it, and that's an awfully hard double to do. But he gave it everything he had, just missed out on that. He was one of my 2 athletes that broke 4 minutes in the mile in college. We happen to be the only high school in New Jersey that has 2 alumni that have broken 4 minutes in the mile. He started at the University of Virginia, then went to and graduated from Oregon, which is a powerhouse in distance running. Broke the 4-minute mile there, and he was a national Foot Locker qualifier. Ran in the Millrose Games, which is again an event where he has to be invited to come, and Brett did that. And I think one of the most unique things about, I'll say, cross-country and track as a whole is you get to know other runners and your friends. I mean, his very good friend who he competed with many, many times, they ended up going to college together. Just a fabulous person, a great individual who's now back working in Ocean City in the family business, and I'm sure he's going to be taking that over because Dad's going to get pushed right out of that job too. Here's Brett Johnson.
Thanks, Coach. I first off want to thank the committee members for this tremendous honor, as well as congratulate the 6 other athletes, 2 coaches, and the field hockey team being inducted today. I want to take a quick minute to thank a lot of the people that helped me achieve the success I did in high school. My friends, my teammates, and especially my parents and family that were instrumental in everything I accomplished. My friends supporting the decision to hang out with me on Friday nights because I couldn't do anything with big races on Saturday. My teammates doing extra postseason workouts when they were done because they knew I had to continue, and traveling hours away to watch me compete when they just were going to watch. I want to thank my parents. Words can't describe the love they showed me along this journey. From my middle school track races all the way through my high school meets, they never missed one. Through all the highs and lows that I had during my career, they were always in my corner and supported me in whatever I needed. There are 2 individuals I purposely left off the lump sum because they deserve a category of their own. My 2 coaches, Coach Bill Moreland and Coach Matt Purdue. I owe everything and all the successes I had through my high school career to them. I only realized later in life how truly blessed I was to have them as coaches. When I arrived on the University of Oregon, the first thing I did was sat down with the distance staff that had just had 2 Olympians and a world champion. They asked me questions as, what kind of workouts do you like? What type of workouts make you better? And what comfort and racing positions do we need to get you in? My answer was, aren't you supposed to know? Aren't you supposed to be telling me that? They chuckled and said, no, seriously, Brett, we need to know what this is. I said, seriously, whatever you do, you tell me. And then realized I knew little about running. The reason I tell you this story is because I truly knew little about running in high school. I knew coming out of middle school I could run a bit, won a few races, but really didn't know anything about the sport. The only thing that I knew was to show up and run. A reporter once asked me after the race, he told me, what was the strategy? What was your tactics? I looked at him and said, "Coaches told me to win." That's what I did. I'll end by saying this. There are 3 other runners that will be inducted later. All of us with different specialties in our sports, different body types, and we were all trained very differently, yet we all achieved the same result: success. The little I do know about the ins and outs of training in the sport is sustained success with one athlete over a given 4-year period is extremely hard. And you try to replicate over multiple athletes, multiple years, is almost impossible. Yet here we all stand. I just want to thank my coaches, my family, my teammates, and my friends for everything they helped me to achieve.
Hall of Famer, Brett Johnson. Our next new Hall of Famer will be introduced by our high school coach. Please welcome Trish LeFevre.
I would like to introduce Cory Pasternak to you as part of the Hall of Fame class of 2018. Cory has made contributions to field hockey, softball, and the athletics program in so many ways. She was certainly one of the very best field hockey players to ever come through our program. She was the player that everyone talked about and everyone feared. I always found that somewhat amusing, as she is the kindest, most easygoing, most zen person off the field. But when she crosses, when she crosses that sideline, she becomes a voracious competitor with a killer instinct, superior skills, and game sense, and the most powerful and accurate hitting ability I have ever seen on the high school level. As a sophomore, Cory played midfield for us and had a very strong year, notching many honors for our first state championship team. Cory scored 9 goals. She was named First Team Cape Atlantic League, Group 3 All-State, and Atlantic City Press. She was learning from some of the very best, like Abby Woolley and Megan Edwards and Annie Degenhart, and many of the girls who are here today, what it would take to make great things happen. For her junior year, Cory was our center midfield, and this was the point at which she became a dominant scorer as well as a dynamic playmaker. She scored 34 goals, helping the team to a 23-2-1 record and a 2nd consecutive state championship. She teamed with Jenny Dotto to be the most dynamic duo our program has ever seen. Together through their careers, they would amass 159 goals and 3 state championships. Cory was named First Team Cape Atlantic League, South Jersey, Atlantic City Press, and Group 3 All-State. As a senior, the expectations of Cory were tremendously high. She handled the pressure and had an incredible senior season. She played with tremendous power, finesse, and athletic grace. She was a joy to coach and to watch on the field hockey pitch. Cory and her teammates, including Jenny Dotto, Becky Joswiak, Adrienne Joswiak, Katie Allegretto, Maggie Geary, Meredith Long, Jill Davish, Tiffany Kuster, Caitlin McCann, Trish McNulty, and goalies Lori Blutinger and Sarah Lazitsky put together an amazing, undefeated season, posting a 23-0-3 record. They recorded their 3rd consecutive state championship and a #1 ranking in the state of New Jersey. Cory was a team leader and an incredibly dominant force on the field. She scored a South Jersey record 36 goals and notched 10 assists. She received every honor possible, including First Team Cape Atlantic League, Press Area, South Jersey, All-State, Regional All-American, and finally, All-American. She was named the Player of the Year for the state of New Jersey. Cory also excelled in softball. She hit over 400 for each of her 3 years, missing most of her junior year with an injury. Her career average was .425, a school record that lasted 15 years. Her 74 career hits was also a record for 15 years. She still holds career records with 17 doubles and 7 triples. She was a 3-time Cape Atlantic League selection and captain her senior year. She was named the Player of the Decade and is on the Team of the Century. Cory was highly recruited and well known throughout the country. She had numerous scholarship offers. She chose to continue her playing career at Princeton University under Coach Beth Bosman, and eventually Kristen Holmes win. During her college career, Cory was named All-Ivy 3 times, Regional All-American 3 times, and All-American twice. She was team captain her senior year. Her team amassed 4 straight undefeated Ivy League championships. In Cory's sophomore year, she scored the game-winning goal with 5 minutes remaining to lead Princeton to a 2-1 victory over defending national champion and top-seeded Old Dominion to propel the Tigers to the NCAA Final Four. All this while achieving the highest level of education at one of the most prestigious and highly regarded Ivy League schools in the country. Cory came back to Ocean City to teach science in the fall of 2007. Little known to me, she felt that she was pretty much tired of coaching and playing field hockey and wanted a break. Fortunately, she was brought up by parents who taught her about the importance of giving back and loyalty. So when I asked her to come on board as a volunteer assistant coach, she accepted. She was an incredible asset. She brought fresh ideas, a college mentality, and amazing knowledge, especially with the midfield play. She, Tracy LeFevre, Mackenzie Kuster, Kat McGowan, and Beth Pasternak made a coaching staff that anyone in the country would envy. Fortunately, she stayed on for 3 years, and we notched 3 South Jerseys and 1 state championship in that time. I knew that my time as a coach was coming to an end, so I asked her to take over and for the coaching team to stay in place. Fortunately, they all agreed. Thus started her highly successful coaching career. Her teams amassed 7 Cape Atlantic League, 6 South Jersey, and 3 state championships. Her coaching record was 145 wins and 17 losses. She was named Rookie Coach of the Year in 2010 and Field Hockey Club of South Jersey and Inquirer Coach of the Year in 2012. She has helped her players achieve elite levels by play by challenging them mentally and physically to be the very, very best. Her players have been rewarded with numerous all-state selections, as well as South Jersey and Cape Atlantic League All-Stars. She helped them with their college selections and has placed many of her players onto quality college rosters. Thank you, Cory, for taking such good care of our program and keeping our tradition alive. Kelsey, I wish every success, and I'm very proud of the job that you are doing now. Cory was the consummate competitor. She was a tremendous leader as a player and a coach. She was cool under pressure. She was at her best in the biggest games and the most challenging situations. The bigger the stage, the better she played. She was adored by her teammates and remains good friends with many of them to this day. At the same time, she is kind, compassionate, caring, and one of the very best human beings that I know. I feel lucky to have coached Cory, to have worked on a coaching staff with her, and most importantly, to call her my friend. Please help me welcome Cory Pasternak to the Ocean City Hall of Fame, class of 2018.
Wow. So, first I would just like to thank Trish, and I hope I don't get too emotional. Being an alumni of Ocean City High School and also being coached by Trish, who has just set an unbelievable foundation within this community, within the field hockey program. I'll try to keep it together, but that was very touching, and thank you, Trish. Thank you for all that you did for myself, for this school, for all of the people that I've played with. We literally think of you like a mother to us. And I think that Trish and Ocean City Field Hockey are a microcosm of just what Ocean City High School and this community is all about, which is very familial, a lot of support, a lot of dedication, and always giving to something much bigger than just oneself. And, sorry. I would like to thank my teammates. I know that some of them are here from the class of '97, but they are like sisters. So are the co-coaches that I've worked with that Trish mentioned. And I always would even say to our players that you're teammates, you're like sisters, you're bonded for life, and you might not always get along, but it is what it is. You're always going to have this connection and this eternal bond. So I'd like to thank my teammates and co-coaches. I'd like to thank all of our parents and players and our booster club. We have just an insurmountable amount of support from everyone at every level. I'd like to thank the high school administration, our community, whether it's businesses, the police and fire, any general community members that always came out to support not only just field hockey teams, but all events throughout the city. I would like to thank the administration and the Hall of Fame committee for everything that has been done to bring the Hall of Fame back after a short hiatus. And it's just an absolutely tremendous honor to be inducted here today and to be standing beside some absolutely incredible athletes and coaches. And I would like to say congratulations to everyone being recognized here today. I'd like to thank my family for being here and for their unconditional love and support throughout my life. And again, Trish, thank you so much. I love you, and this has been just an absolutely tremendous honor as a player and a coach. So thank you so much.
Hall of Famer Cory Pasternak. One of the top softball players, not only I coach, but to also watch play. And my little tidbit is not many girls want to try to steal home on a throw back from the catcher to the pitcher, just so she could dive head first. Our next new Hall of Famer will be introduced by a former high school coach, now the Director of Academic Services. Please welcome Kurt Nath.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to echo everyone with their congratulations to all of our wonderful athletes, coaches, and teams. I was part of the athletic history here in Ocean City, and I'm greatly appreciative of Mike for allowing me to introduce him as he enters into the Ocean City High School Hall of Fame. There are some parallels between Mike and I. We obviously both coached soccer here for some years. We also taught here at the high school for some years. We both left teaching and coaching and went into administration. About 10 years after him, I had boy-girl twins, like he had boy-girl twins. My boy-girl twins are also playing soccer now. No offense, Mike, I hope that's where the parallels stop, because I still have some stuff up here, so I'm hoping I'm not going down that path. I wanted to share a couple things with you about Mike. His pregame speeches were very short and succinct, and every year we had one goal. Our goal was simple. It was to win the last game of the year. And for a lot of our athletes, they didn't understand what that meant, but it meant to be in the final and to win that game. Under his tutelage, we also sort of trademarked the quote, "We don't rebuild, we just reload." And I want to thank Mike for letting me be part of that as we put together some of these dynasty teams, and Mike was able to bring them over the line. We closed every year off with our banquet, and Mike stood up there at the end and said, "By the numbers." So it's only fitting that I do the same for Mike as he's inducted. So by the numbers, 12 years as a head coach, a record of 228 wins, 35 losses, and 19 ties. In those 12 years, 11 invites to the South Jersey Soccer Coaches Tournament, and 2 prestigious victories and wins in that tournament, which equals the number of Cal victories by every other school in the history of that tournament. In those 12 years as a coach, it also included 12 postseason appearances, 10 South Jersey Group 3 final appearances, 5 state championship appearances, 4 of those ending with victory, 2 outright and 2 shared. On top of those numbers, little old Ocean City down here in South Jersey ranked nationally in the Adidas poll. Mike was also instrumental in finally bringing a second field For those of you that are familiar with Tennessee Avenue and having those two fields back to back, it didn't always exist that way. In fact, it was one of the hardest things to do. When I coached with Mike, I coached at the intermediate school while the varsity game was down at Tennessee Avenue. Thanks to Mike's hard work, we have that second field there, which was key and instrumental in developing our program. But the most important number I want to share with you is not any win, not any loss, not any title, but the thousands of people that went through our program and the influence they've had throughout their lives. You cannot go anywhere and find any soccer field where there isn't either a player that's known Mike, been coached by Mike, or coached or played with his children. So it is with extreme honor and a privilege for me to introduce Michael Pellegrino. Welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Back there, and Kurt had him log me into the Wi-Fi because my speech was on my Chromebook, because I was afraid I was going to lose the cards in the process from the house to here. Kurt, thanks again. That introduction is quite amazing. First, I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame Committee for all their hard work and dedication. I know what goes into putting this event on as Athletic Director at Egg Harbor Township. It is both an honor and a privilege to be standing here today. I'm humbled. Knowing the Red Raider history and the coaches, the programs, and the players that have come before me, I should be speechless at this point to receive this honor today. There's a lot of people I have to thank in getting here, because it was never a one-man show. So here we go. I have to thank some people that made me the person I am today, not just as a coach, or as an educator, or as father or as a husband, but I grew up in Ocean City, and I say that meaning while I was teaching here and coaching here, I became the person I am today. I thank the teachers and the administrators that were here in the trenches with me during my tenure and while I was coaching. I have to thank you for helping me, guiding me, supporting me, and allowing me to be a part of the Ocean City family, because we truly were a family. Sitting at the lunch tables, talking to John Bruno, Mike Baldega, Jack Boyd, some of the most instrumental people in making me realize what I was doing, where I was, and it was truly an amazing time in my life. I thank the administration at the time, Paul LeFevre, the athletic director, Michael Cipriano, Donald Dearborn, who brought somebody in from Pennsylvania that, I still swear they confused me with Bob Pellegrino, that was local in the area, and everybody said, I have a brother Bob. That's the really funny part. They said, are you related to Bob Pellegrino? I said, yes. I think that's how I got the job, I hate to say. So, thank you for that. Tony Delaney, Billy Nichols, these were guys that, every day I sat down and had a conversation with things that were going on, and they were coaches that honestly instilled in me the work ethic and the drive that Ocean City has as an athletic department. It was truly an honor to be associated with these guys. Funny story, with Paul. At the time, he's not really a big fan of soccer. So, and it's okay. His dislike of soccer was fine, but he always had my back. And I tell this story 1,000 times. He always had my back, because as much as he disliked soccer, he actually disliked the soccer parents even more. So, I knew he always had my back. And it's funny now, as an athletic director and as a soccer parent, I really get it now. I honestly get it. So, Paul, thank you for everything that you did for me through the years. It truly was an honor to work under you. To my former coaching staff, we did this. This was never about me. It was never a one-man show. As a head coach in a program, I relied heavily on my assistants. And on game days, you are there alone on the sideline. They were at different sites. So it was always a little bit more difficult till we got to the postseason, but it was an honor to work with these guys. Thank you for being on my side and on my sideline. And I hope you share this honor with me today, because it was a fun ride, and I hope you had as much fun as I did along the way. So thank you to Kurt Knapp, Brendan Gallagher, Paul McLaughlin, freshman coach forever, Aaron Boguszewski. These guys were the only guys who were with me over my 12 years, and we bounced a lot of ideas off of each other to get to where we were able to get to. And I have to thank, obviously, Bill Seidman, who was our historian, who kept track of every single stat, every single game, of everything that we did, and he made my life so much easier when we got to the postseason, because I knew who everybody was and where we had to go. I have to thank Tom Williams and all of the press, because they were always very generous to us in what they said and what they did for Ocean City Soccer, and they helped put us on the map. To the parents of my players, I have to say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to grow with your son. I have a million stories that I will forever cherish as head coach. I can remember every single game, every single finish, and every single goal. And that's crazy. But that just goes to show how big of an impact it was on my life at the time as well. I constantly share them with my children now, and it's one of those things that one day I swear is going to make a great movie. Because the Ocean City history and the players that we had, from the boxing matches, the night before the state finals, to a Halloween event that almost cost a few days of players. Those guys will know, the guys that prepared for the season, it truly was a blessing. It happened. It was your commitment and dedication that got us to where we were. They supported each other, they believed in each other, and they honestly loved each other. And I think when they had each other's back on the field, it showed. It showed. And it was one of those things that they taught me along the way what it meant to be a team. They made each other better by pushing each other. They knew what it was going to take the following year to be a member of the varsity team. They pushed each other in the off-season. They did everything they could to make themselves a part of that team. I listened to my players. We had a lot of conversation. My captains, my seniors. It was never about me making the decisions. We made decisions as a team. And sometimes they were smarter than I were. The parents made suggestions. I was very open-minded as a coach, I believe. And because of that, that's where the success came from. Severs, Sternberger, Baker, Williamson, Melchione, Kyle Evans, Donnie Hamilton, John Fogarty, Aaron Boguszewski. These players, they're no longer now former players. Most of them are now friends. And, you know, as a coach, to be sitting here, to be able to say that, I think I was doing things the right way. I hope I was doing things the right way. I think they would say that we did things the right way. To my wife, it's 20 years this Wednesday that we've been married. I told her in October when we were getting married, don't pick the fall. It's going to be the worst anniversary every single year because it's soccer season. When the team showed up at the church with a banner that said, we interrupt this wedding to bring you the soccer season, they reminded me how important soccer was, but obviously it's been such a wonderful, wonderful time. She allows me to bounce everything off of her. She is my sounding board. She is my best friend. She's been through the ups and downs in every aspect of coaching, teaching, and administration with me. And I can't thank her enough for that. Oh, I'm going to be upset, sorry. It's hard to believe now that it's 17 years ago that she blessed me with twins, Megan and Ryan. So it is, they're two amazing children. They grew up on Tennessee Avenue Field. My players at the time, every time somebody looks at Megan or Ryan, everybody remembers this size. And now I'm actually looking up to Ryan because I think he's got 2 to 3 inches on me, and he definitely has a full head of hair, so it's awesome. We still have their first sweatshirts that say Ocean City Soccer in shadow boxes that we keep forever, because to see them in those and have them running around the field when I was coaching, those memories I will cherish forever. It's hard to believe it's been a decade since I've left the sidelines of Ocean City Soccer. In doing so, though, I had the ability to coach Megan and Ryan. And I got to coach them in the game that I love. I'm sorry to say, but yes, they are Mustangs at Mainland. So I love watching them play, and I know that their love of soccer stemmed from them taking their first steps at Tennessee Avenue Field. It's something that, you know, again, it's just a memory for me. Megan, Ryan, Monk and Pearl, as I call them, thank you for being such amazing, beautiful people. I'm so proud of what you've become, and I look forward to what you're going to do. This program obviously has a special place in my heart. The memories and the lessons that I've learned have guided me to be the best educator, best person, best teacher, because of my experiences here at Ocean City. And the things that I've always talked about, and Kurt's right, I always did a top 10 at my banquet. There were always like 4 or 5 things that we lived by while we were here. And they're the things I'd like to leave with everybody here, that what I think we've instilled in the players that come through the program. Respect the game and respect your opponent. Respect comes first. You earn it. You're not giving it. Celebrate your win modestly, as if you should have won, and learn from your losses. Don't make excuses. Work harder if you don't like the outcome. And something that my players know many times, because we ran and ran and ran, leave it cleaner than when you got there. Pick up all the trash even if it's not yours. So with that, I'd like to thank you. I'm truly honored and humbled by this induction this year. And congratulations to the entire class, the coaches, the players, and the team for their induction into the class of 2018 Ocean City. I don't have to go anywhere because now I'm introducing the next person. So, you don't need to go to the record books to figure out who leads Ocean City on scoring records. You ask any current player and they'll know the name, Chad Severs. His name will always be synonymous with Ocean City soccer. Chad was the trendsetter. His mark that he left on soccer has set the tone for the future to come. 20 years later, 15 years later, 10 years later, they all emulate and respect what Chad was able to accomplish. Upcoming players work harder, and they worked harder to get the opportunity to play on the field with Chad. He made everyone around him better. He made everyone elevate his game, including me as the coach. Chad led South Jersey for 3 years as the scoring leader, accumulating 159 goals. He's only second in the state of New Jersey to Tab Ramos, the former U.S. national team captain. And for that, being number 2, he can blame me. I never allowed Chad to score more than 3 goals in his freshman, sophomore, junior year. I limited his time because he would score goals and have 3 in the back of the net in the first 15, 20 minutes of a game. And we did not want to embarrass anyone. We wanted to respect the team, and I would pull him off the field. And finally, in his senior year, he came to me and said, "Coach," he said, "I'd really like to accomplish this goal." So, approaching me, and I figured it was the right thing to do, we allowed Chad in his senior year to take off. And that year, not only was he the state record holder, but he scored 63 goals in his senior year. And I will tell you that I know there are 2 goals that were left on Vineland's Field in one game in the South Jersey Championship the day before my wedding. I can picture them clear as day. That was one, and the second one was at Millville. He hit the ball so hard, it bounced down the back of the net, and neither of the officials saw it. There were just 2 goals to get him to that record. And for that, Chad, I apologize still for pulling you off the field all those years. A little bit about him. He was a 4-time Cape Atlantic League first team member, 2-time All-State first team, 2-time All-State second team, 4-time All-South Jersey first team. While he was here, he earned 2 state titles, 2 South Jersey titles, 2 Cape Atlantic League titles. Chad continued his career at Penn State, where he led the team in scoring for 3 straight years with a total of 38 goals, leading him to be the current 6th-time all-time leading scorer in the Big Ten. He started all 20 games as a freshman, earning Big Ten Freshman of the Year honors. He led the team in his sophomore year to the Elite 8, scoring goals in the round of 64, the round of 32, and the round of 16. All while, Chad did all this, he graduated in 3.5 years from Penn State. Scholar athlete. He played professionally at Harrisburg and other teams, where actually he's currently still the all-time leading scorer at Penn State, at Harrisburg. With that being said, it is now my honor and privilege to introduce and welcome to the class of 2018 Ocean City Hall of Fame, my former player and current friend, Chad Severs.
Thank you, Mr. Pellegrino, for the introduction. Back in 2009, Coach P and I were inducted into the South Jersey Soccer Hall of Fame, and here we are once again. It's been a special journey for the both of us. I feel privileged to be here today, and I'm honored to be inducted with such an outstanding group of athletes. For me, it all began when I scored my first goal at 4 years old. I got a taste of success, and I never looked back. People don't always understand how much effort and discipline goes into playing or competing at the top levels. I'm a big believer that hard work will always win. The harder I worked, the more success I had. When I trained, I always thought about every other competitor out there and if they were working as hard as me. I wanted to outwork everyone. I still do to this day, just in a different light. I think Drew Brees said it best the other night after he became the NFL's all-time leader in passing. He was asked what he told his kids when he was being honored with this award. He said, "I told my kids that you can accomplish anything if you're willing to work for it." Thank you to the Ocean City Hall of Fame Induction Committee for taking the time to recognize all our hard work. Thank you to Coach P and all my teammates who had my back. Thank you to my beautiful wife and my kids for supporting me daily. Lastly, support, love, and encouragement to keep my dreams. Thank you.
Hall of Famer Chad Severs. As we recognize the great Ocean City High School coaches and athletes of the past, we know there are a number of current coaches here with us today. We ask that all the Ocean City High School coaches please stand and be recognized. Our next new Hall of Famer will be introduced by one of our high school coaches. Please welcome again, Bill Morley.
Again, I have the pleasure of introducing another one of my athletes. Brittany came to Ocean City High School, had a very successful middle school, cross-country and track experience. And she was also known as a swimmer. And was one of those things, is she going to run, is she going to swim, what's she going to do? Well, she came in her freshman year, she decided she was going to do, she was like running and still swimming with her club team, and she's doing both. Well, that's Brittany. She is still training, and the hardest part coaching Brittany was getting her not to run. She wanted to do more. Well, if I do this, maybe if I run more, I can do even better. I said, no, listen to me, please. In her high school career, Brittany won 9 South Jersey titles between cross-country, track, and the 1600, 3200. She won 4 state championships. She won 4 Meet of Champions. And in case of, maybe I should have said this when I introduced Brett as well, Meet of Champions champion means you are the best in the state in your event. All groups, everybody that's run that race, there's nobody that's run faster than you. It's an extremely great honor. difficult feat to do. She, unfortunately, the injury bug kind of slowed her down a little bit. In her senior year, she didn't get to go for that third Meet of Champions championship in cross country, but she, it was one of those things that just kind of slowed her down. She was a high school All-American. She was the anchor leg of our, I think it was 2004, national championship in high school. She and Renee, who is also going to be inducted here shortly, and Erin Walsh and Allie Moreland, my daughter, were the national champions of the fastest high school distance medley relay team in the country. Her senior year indoors, Brittany had the fastest time in the United States in the 2 mile. She ran 10 minutes and 19 seconds. Would beat a lot of the boys. She was runner of the year, South Jersey numerous times, and just, like I said, just put her on the line and look out, here comes Brittany. You walk around the state and everybody says, oh, how's Brittany doing, how's Brittany doing? She's doing just fine. She's part of a small group that I work with still. Tuesday mornings, we're usually out here on the track. She's still training to run some races, and we're still just trying to keep her healthy. She lives in the area, and she's now training young athletes, not just high school athletes, but even some middle school athletes, trying to do things the right way, nutrition-wise, and she's a certified personal trainer. Here's Brittany Sedberry.
Good afternoon. Thanks, Mr. Moreland. Thank you so much, everyone who came out today to honor us all. First off, I would like to thank the voting committee for this tremendous honor. I have always had a lot of pride for Ocean City High School, and now to be recognized as one of the school's all-time greatest athletes is an honor and a privilege, and I do not take it lightly. So again, thank you. When you are 16 or 17 years old, being elected into the Hall of Fame was never even an afterthought for me. At the time, it was all about performing to the best of my ability, hopefully winning a couple races, and most importantly, making lifelong friends and everlasting memories. I would like to take this time to thank those that helped me get here today. First off, I would like to thank my family, and especially my amazing parents. They were always supportive and kind. They never pushed me and absolutely never had any expectations for me in any of the sports I did. First or last, 17 or 22-minute 5K, I knew they were just as proud of me, and having that support and no added pressure from my parents was critical to my success. I would also like to thank my brothers, who were my biggest cheerleaders, who were always there to cheer me on, again, in swimming and running, whatever I was doing. I'd like to thank my coaches. I had quite a few coaches, and all of them provided something quite different for me. But they were all huge contributors to my success. Bill Moreland, of course, he was the brains behind the operation, always making the workouts, telling me what splits to hit in the workouts, or giving me a strategy to hopefully win the race. He even flew across the country twice to watch me compete at Foot Locker Nationals in San Diego, California. Sorry I ran so poorly both times there. I always trusted Bill and his process. I knew when I towed the line at these big races that I was tapered to perfection and ready to run fast. Having trust in your coach is essential in an individual sport like running is. And I always had trust. So next I would like to thank Trish Henry, who was also one of my coaches for all years I was here. She was the calming factor that I needed. If anyone knew me, I would get really nervous on race day. Nervous to the point where I would throw up multiple times before the race even started. And she would always, as I'm throwing up on the line, she would say the same thing. Would you just chill out? You know you're gonna win. And I needed that. I needed her to say that to me and to give me that little extra boost of confidence. She always kept it fun and light, and there were team activities, and for that I have lasting memories. Last, one of my other coaches, Bruce Welch, he was like pretty much my training partner in cross country. He was here with me for 3 years for just cross country, and he would do all the workouts and runs with me, so it was great to have him as my training partner, basically. Next, I would like to thank my teammates. I was truly blessed to have the best teammates here. At the time, the years that I was here, we had such phenomenal runners, and it was always an incredible time. I always had such incredible support from my team as well. I'll never forget the first day of cross-country practice at Cotwell Park. It was the summer before the real season had even begun. I was always super intense, in fact too intense, and that's why I was plagued with so many injuries, because I didn't know how to turn it off or how to jog or whatever. So first day of practice, warm up, I ran up ahead of everyone, and one of the teammates who's actually here because her husband's being inducted, Lindsay Noonan, asked why I was going so hard and not running with everyone else. She was a senior, and I replied, because I want to do well. I want to get better and run fast. Instead of being an annoyed senior over this little freshman pushing the pace, she said, "That's awesome, you go girl." That support continued throughout the 4 years at Ocean City High School from all my teammates. I made friendships that have lasted and will last my lifetime. I have so many fond memories with my teammates. In fact, when I look back on high school and reflect, I don't really think of the wins or the high accomplishments. I think of the pasta dinners, t-shirt making, carpools to swim practice, bus rides, national trips, and I could stand up here for hours telling you about the memories that I'll always have. Last, I would like to thank Ocean City High School. This high school is the best athlete high school around. There's so much support here for all the athletes, even us boring distance runners. Little things that Ocean City High School did for me that I won't forget, such as allowing us to go to meets like at Nationals, where we weren't permitted to wear our Ocean City High School uniform or represent Ocean City High School at all, yet they still allowed us to go and compete there. Or little things that kind of seem silly, like the morning announcements where they congratulate you for winning a race that weekend or whatever it was. Those little things do mean a lot, and they stay with me. So I'm so proud to be an Ocean City High School alumni and to be standing up here today. I would like to congratulate all the others who are being inducted today, the coaches, the athletes. Some incredible athletes and coaches are being inducted today, and it's such an honor to be among you. And it's especially an honor and exciting to be inducted with my best friend Renee Tomlin, who continues to kill it athletically as a professional triathlete. Also, congratulations to fellow runners of my time, John Richardson and Brett Johnson, and congrats to friend Chad Severs. It's really awesome to be inducted with this group of friends and teammates. So again, I want to thank the committee for this tremendous honor. Congratulations to all my fellow inductees, and another special thank you to my friends, family, and coaches. Thanks.
Hall of Famer Brittany Sedberry. Introduce the next speaker.
Well, I spent a little bit of time listening to some wonderful athletes and wonderful presenters. One of the things that first struck me is the statistics that are available or were available for these athletes and coaches. I'm going to take you back in time, boys and girls. It's a pleasure for me to get the opportunity to introduce Judy Gale as an inductee in the Ocean City High School Hall of Fame for 2018. I'm sure Judy would agree that what seems like a lifetime ago, when I was barely an adult myself, I was fortunate enough to be hired by the Ocean City School District, and in addition to a teaching job, I was assigned to coach the first girls basketball team here. And in fact, it was the first interscholastic team of any kind for girls here at Ocean City. And as such, things really changed in the 70s. It was a magnificent time for female athletes at all levels, interscholastic, intercollegiate, etc. And as such, those great times made their way into the eastern part of South Jersey, into the Cape Atlantic League, and finally into Ocean City High School. To say I was in the right place at the right time is truly an understatement. Young female athletes, this is what I found out first. Young female athletes in this high school waited years for the opportunity to compete at an interscholastic level. What I didn't know at the time about my job is the young women who wanted to try out for this team had a little bit of experience. Many of them participated at a local level with the Ocean City Baptist Church. They had skills, they had game experience. It wasn't perfect, but I will tell you it was way ahead of anyone else in this area. Our first team played primarily a JV schedule. The first varsity game we played was against Atlantic City High School, of which I am an alumni, and of which I started their girls basketball team the year before. And many of you probably have no idea about what they call the 6-player game. So in that year, 70, 71, 72, schools moved from the 6-player game to real basketball. The very first varsity game, as I said, we played against was Atlantic City, and we lost that game 42-35. We didn't like that a little bit. So we didn't lose any more games the rest of the year. Judy was a freshman at that time, and she made her mark immediately. She was a leader on and off the court. Ocean City High School, their school newspaper, the Billows, in conjunction with the Ocean City Sentinel-Ledger, had an Athlete of the Week thing that they put in the newspaper every week. Judy was one of those honored multiple times between basketball and softball during the time that she played at Ocean City High School. In her 3 varsity years, these are my statistics, in her 3 varsity years, she averaged over 11 points a game. Our overall record during that time was 48-4. Statistically, we played far less games than teams are playing now, but she was up among the top 10 in a few other of the statistics: steals, assists, shooting percentage, etc. She was also named to several all-star teams, beginning with the Cape May County All-Stars, the Cape Atlantic League All-Star first team, and South Jersey. At the time we were Group 2, so South Jersey All-Stars Group 2. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of statistics for softball. Softball was a program that began probably a year later, possibly 2. But just speaking to Judy backstage, she played a variety of positions, and I know that she was an impact player. After high school, Judy continued her education and her service to this country. She attended Trenton State College, East Stroudsburg State College, and Immaculata College. She must have been on the circuit. She played varsity basketball at all 3 of those locations, and she graduated with a degree in psychology from Immaculata College. After she finished her education, she entered into the United States Marine Corps. Her job, and I have to read this, was a jet mechanic battalion administrative officer. Big job. But while she was doing that, she also played on the all-Marine basketball and softball teams. And then she played on the all-service women's basketball and softball teams. Ocean City High School and the United States Marine Corps are proud of Judy Gale. For myself, on a personal level, I am not only proud of Judy Gale, I am grateful to call her friend. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Judy Gale. I
When we started, there was not much here at Ocean City, but I'm glad I was there, and I remember running a lot, and like Chad said, we did a lot of hard work, and that's probably what instilled me to go on and play at the schools I played at, and especially with my career in the Marine Corps. I'm very grateful, first to my family, because I had 5 brothers, 1 brother-in-law, and 1 nephew that also played sports here at Ocean City High School. And I think of this as a tribute to all of us, because with 11 brothers and sisters, I always had somebody to play with, and always something to do. So we will look at this as a gift to all of us. Let's see, I would like to thank Pat Doherty, Sue Trinico, my softball coach, and every one of my teammates. Because from the first day we had our first practice, I thought we were just going to die. She just ran us to death, and I said, this can't be basketball. This is not what I signed up for. So, but as the days went on, I finally learned how to play basketball, because the only thing I knew was 6-player basketball. And I thank Diane Snow, another Hall of Famer, for teaching me how to shoot, which is something I could not do. But as I got time and learned and played over the summer, we played the summer league here at the Ocean City Recreation Center. I played a lot at the Baptist Church, and I learned how to play basketball. And I'm very, very grateful to every one of my teammates, because they went through every bit of every practice with me. I'd also like to thank my family, because they put up with a lot during those times. I'd come home and I ate dinner once, and I was so tired I fell asleep in my plate of food. And my mother said, that's good, that's good. So I'd like to thank all of them for all the hard work that they put in putting up with me. And all of my softball teammates, I'd like to thank them also. We had a great time playing softball, and I guess we didn't keep as many good records as they keep now, but we had a great time. I'll never forget my time here in Ocean City, and I thank all the coaches, all the teachers here who directed a very, very naive young lady and taught her how to be an adult and move on to do great things, I think. And I am grateful for my college experience, and I got my degree in psychology, and I joined the Marine Corps and went on to become a first lieutenant. And I thank you for your selection here from the committee, and I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Hall of Famer Judy Gale. Introducing our next new Hall of Famer, will be one of his coaches. Somebody who looks kind of familiar as he walked across the stage a few times before. Let me reintroduce Bill Moreland.
I'm sure you're tired of hearing me, but I'm proud to be here. This individual, John Richardson, I'm going to say he opened the doors for our other athletes, for Brett, for Brittany, for Renee. John hit the scene, the track scene, right about the right time as the internet was starting to really grow. And there was an internet site for track and field called DieStat, where results were there, it was chatter back and forth, and there was, you started to realize there were many more opportunities besides being, I'll say, Cape May County champion, South Jersey champion, Cape Atlantic Lake champion, even state. There were national opportunities out there to go. And first hard his junior year and saw I want to try to get into the Milrose Games, which is an indoor meet in New York City. And and he did get invited. We had him invited to that, and of course then Brett followed and did the same thing. But he just, showed the rest of us what was out there. His highlights, I'll say, in college, he was all SEC, all Southeast Conference, which is a big, big track. school like Oregon in the West. He was our first alumni to break 4 minutes in the mile, and then, like I said, Brett became our second. They put Ocean City on the map in that regard. As I said, there's only high school with 2 of those. I think John's, I'll say one of the highlights for me as a coach was watching the Penn Relays mile. Again, you had to get invited to do that. And he won that. And there's a picture that was in the press and probably many other places online of John winning that, arms up in the air. Just the pure joy in his enthusiasm of having won this big race in front of thousands of spectators. But then he topped that all his senior year at the Meet of Champions. John, what do you want to run, the 16 or the 8? And he had that choice, and he said, no, I want to do both. So we run the 16, okay, we'll take them one at a time. We run the 16, wins that. At the time was a meet record, which Brett broke a few years later. Penn runs 4:09 in the mile, or 1600, which is the equivalent. Okay, I still want to run 800. All right, let's rest of this. And it's only 45 minutes or so later, and that's not easy to come back from. Well, he went and won the 800 as well. I ran 150, I think, or 150 point. He was the first athlete to ever double at that meet and win both of those. There has been one other person since then. So in the history of track and field in the state of New Jersey, there are only 2 athletes that have ever accomplished that. And that's John. He just had a fabulous senior year. Went to the University of Kentucky, was successful, as I said, broke that 4-minute mile. He was the Gatorade 2003 Gatorade New Jersey Athlete of the Year, the Star Ledger Track Athlete of the Year. He ended up leading his teammates to the national meet where he only finished second in the country in that 800 leg, but he'd already run a couple relays before that. And he lost the 800 by, I think it was 34 hundredths or 33 hundredths of a second. Had he not run those relays, he probably would have won the 800 and been the national champion there. But that's John. If he doesn't run the relays, his teammates don't go because they had qualified through the relay. And I think that's, in college, John was inducted into the Frank G. Ham Society of Character, the highest achievement for student athletes at the University of Kentucky. And that's John Richardson. Here's John. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marlin. Good afternoon, everyone. This is a tremendous honor, and I'm thankful to be here along with many great athletes, coaches, and teams. I'd like to thank Mr. Levy, Mr. Jameson, and Dr. Taylor, and all the OCHS coaches, teachers, and administrators for hosting this event. It's great to be included with athletes that I looked up to as a student athlete like Chad and Cory, and athletes that came along after I graduated like Brett, Brittany, and Renee. I actually found out this morning that Miss Gale graduated with my father in 1974, so that's pretty cool as well. The caliber of athletes that come out of Ocean City is remarkable and includes state champions, state record holders, Olympic hopefuls, professional athletes, and All-Americans. To be inducted into the Ocean City High School Hall of Fame is humbling. I graduated from OCHS 15 years ago, and outside of a few summer visits, haven't been back to New Jersey as much as I'd like to, especially over the last few years. Whenever I do come back, enough has changed for me to take notice, but not enough has changed for me to feel like anything is different. One thing that stays the same is the people and the community. People in this area work hard. The economy is tied to small businesses, and there is an inherent hustle in everyone that lives here. I don't think it's a coincidence that some of the best athletes in New Jersey history are from Ocean City. And I say Ocean City, but as an Upper Township kid, I'm using them interchangeably. Our results and successes are a byproduct and reflection of the people that raised us. I'd like to thank my parents and my grandparents for the way they raised me. I was taught early on that hard work pays off, and that being a good sport was more important than winning or losing. I'd like to thank my father for setting an example of what a loving father looks like. His love for his children is endless. I'd like to thank my mother for being the rock of our family. She is the most selfless person I know. I love both of you very much. My grandfather has set the bar high for a life worth living. I admire and respect the life he has lived and the influence he has had on everyone he has met. I can only hope my life will be as full as the one he's already lived. I'd like to thank my teammates, especially Eric Geisinger and Jim Dugan, for all of their support during the cross-country and track seasons. We had a lot of fun and a lot of success. I need to draw special attention to a specific person, one who's familiar to all of you this afternoon, Coach Bill Moreland. Mr. Moreland, as I've always called him, is the best coach I've ever had, which is saying a lot, as I've been fortunate enough to have many great coaches. His knowledge for distance running is evident, as there are 4 athletes in this Hall of Fame that he had personally coached. But more importantly, he was just an overwhelmingly positive influence on all of us. I admire his dedication to his family and his love for his wife and children. He is a great person for whom I'll always be grateful for knowing. I also want to thank my wife Andrea and daughters Reese and Rory. They challenge me to be a better person every day. Unfortunately, they can't be here this afternoon, but if you want to see a picture of my girls, I'd be happy to show you. I'm definitely that dad. Most importantly, I need to thank and praise my Savior Jesus Christ, for whom all things are possible. To everyone inducted this afternoon, I'm honored to be here with you. Thank you, and God bless.
Hall of Famer Jonathan. Introducing our next new Hall of Famer will be one of her coaches and the coach of this year's Cape Atlantic League American Girls Cross Country Champions, Miss Trish LeFevre.
First, what I'd like to do is I would like to thank all those responsible for putting this event together. I do understand it's a massive undertaking, and all of your hard work is appreciated. The next thing I would like to do is extend congratulations to all of this year's inductees. To those that I know personally, Brett, Chad, Cory, I know as a coach, but I know how outstanding she was as an athlete. And of course, Brittany Sedberry, congratulations to you and your family. It's a well-deserved honor. To Mike and Trish, I want you to know that it was a privilege coaching at the same time as you. I also want you to know that all of your accomplishments motivated the other coaches, especially in that fall season. So thank you for what you did for the programs, and thank you to all the athletes for what you gave back to Ocean City High School. Next, what I would like to do is I would like to give a little bit of information about Renee Tomlin. Sitting back there and talking to her, even though it's been many years, nothing has changed. Renee is the exact same person I remember meeting when she was a sophomore, and I pretty much begged her to run cross country. She politely said no thank you, so that was strike one. Then junior year, I revisited Renee, asking her once again, could you please run cross country? Once again, no thank you. So finally, senior year, I did not strike out, and Renee ran just 1 year for our team, and what she accomplished in 1 year was absolutely amazing. Renee ended up second at sectionals. Then she went on to the state meet, in which she finished 6th place. And as Bill Moreland had mentioned earlier, at the Meet of Champions, which is the best of the best, Renee was 12th overall. That's all done in just 1 season of cross country. In addition, if you get a chance to look at the record books, or I should say record boards, I'm sorry, in the hallway, you will notice that Renee, in 1 season, ended up on the record board with the 3rd fastest time at Homedale Park, which is an honor that not many can achieve. And again, she did this basically telling me all season, I don't really know what I'm doing, but each and every time I do it, I feel like it gets better, and I'm just going to try to get to the front. And I would tell Renee, that's a great strategy. So, as far as her career goes, she was an outstanding swimmer, and she dominated in track and field. She went on to be a 4-time state champion, 2 in the 800 meters, 2 in the 1600 meters. In addition, She was a 3-time medal winner at the Meet of Champions. And those of you that do not know Renee, one thing you could do is Google her. And it was one of the most interesting things because I know what Renee's been doing these past few years. But if you Google Renee Tomlin, it comes up Team USA. Then what comes up is triathlon. And underneath, it says hometown, Ocean City, New Jersey. Knowing Renee, it's something that does surprise me. And I took great pride in seeing Ocean City, New Jersey in her profile. Renee has always been confident, yet she really does not like attention. So I'm sure today, as she stands back there and waits, she's just wishing everybody else could get recognition and that she could just step out in the spotlight. But Renee deserves it. She is one of the most hardworking, still to this day, people I've ever met. She's extremely proud of what she's been able to do. She is somebody who is true to their roots. Renee's only in Ocean City for a few days, and then what she's doing is she's leaving the country. And what Renee will be doing, well, I'll be ironing my clothes for school. She'll be packing her bag with all of her United States of America gear, and she will be traveling outside the country to represent our country in the sport of triathlon. She, Renee, has always had the ability to lead. What I've known about her is she does not need anybody else to motivate her. She has this inner drive that's like no other. She's always had a vision, and her vision started here at Ocean City High School. It carried her to Georgetown University, one of the most prestigious running programs still today in the country. And like I said, her current team is the United States of America. Renee has been somebody who has always been polite, always a calming influence, always a little goofy, which is a great attribute to have, especially when you're competing at such a high level. And what I would like to do is proudly introduce Renee Tomlin, Ocean City High School, class of 2018, Hall of Fame inductee. And Renee, we wish you best of luck as you put on that USA uniform and you represent our country, and know that this town, this high school, will always have your back. So, Renee Tomlin, please.
Thanks, Trish. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here for induction into the Ocean City High School Hall of Fame. Rarely do I have the chance to come home these days, let alone for important dates such as this. But I really just want to take my time to thank some of the people that have molded me into the person, the athlete, and the young woman I am today. A couple of those coaches, Billy Bob Cornell and Dimitar Petrov from the Ocean City High School swim team, Kevin Green, Trish Henry, Bill Mullerland, all from the running program, and a few extra mentors, Paul Minahan and Sharon Elko, who really were a huge part of my high school experience and continue to play a role in my life today. And also my mom, of course. She's been through all of it with me and continues to stand by my side and help me pack my bike in my suitcase the day before I'm supposed to leave. Those individuals really helped shape my perspective and my core values that I carry with me in competition, in the way I do things, coping mechanisms, preparation. I really wouldn't be able to do what I've done, and I wouldn't be able to stand up here today without their help. But it's also the community of Ocean City that's played such a big role, and I take such pride in representing my school, my community abroad. I think there are a couple of things that stand out to me in my high school experience that I reflect on and still carry with me today. And some of those are the creation of the girls swim team. Paul LeFevre was instrumental in getting that going. Because when I started, we were still a co-ed team, and it's actually kind of crazy to think back just 12 years ago that men and women were still competing against one another. So I think it was a huge step forward, and at the time I didn't quite realize it. But now, especially in this day and age, I can see how, I guess, forward-thinking that was at that time. Also, the support of the Ocean City School District to attend the Penn Relays, the Great American Cross Country Races, the Nike Team Nationals. I mean, we weren't necessarily, as Brittany mentioned earlier, representing the Ocean City High School, yet we still had the support of our community to go out there and compete. And it's because of those experiences that I'm able to stand up here today. And I just thank everybody for coming out and continuing to support my journey as I'm still out there racing. So, thank you.
Hall of Famer Renee Tomlin. At this time, we would ask that all the players and coaches from the 1997 field hockey team report to the rear of the auditorium, along with all Hall of Famers here inducted tonight, the rear of the auditorium. Look for Mr. Craig Benson. Introducing our next new Hall of Famer will be a former Ocean City player and assistant coach. Please welcome Trish LeFevre. And children.
This is my entourage. This is Taylor and Troy Amstutz, grandchildren to Trish LeFevre. They're here to help me today. It's my pleasure to introduce Coach Trish LeFevre. In 28 seasons, she led her teams to 13 Cal titles, 9 South Jersey titles, 7 state titles, and an overall record of 486 wins, 76 losses, and 54 ties. 486 wins is the most wins in any single sport at Ocean City High School. Really, that's all I need to say to justify her induction in the Hall of Fame today. But Trish is so much more than those numbers. She is OCFH. For over 3 decades, she selflessly gave everything she had to this school, the field hockey programs, and all of her teams. In the course of her 29-year career as head coach of Ocean City Field Hockey, she did so much for the field hockey world. She started our Winter Youth Clinic and Sandy Six Day Camp. She presented at countless clinics, shared drills, rules, policies to anyone who would ask. She was a coach at Garden State Games for years. She also coached at various overnight camps and even was the director of Holly Shores with other legends Bobby Schultz and Gene Phelps. She was a futures coach and a selector and coached at B Camp as well. She was also a member of the All-American Committee. There's still more. Along the way, she earned several coaching honors. Each and every single newspaper that covered Ocean City Field Hockey awarded her Coach of the Year sometime in those 28 seasons. She was also recognized by the Field Hockey Club of South Jersey and the National Field Hockey Coaches Association. Ocean City High School also named their 18th Street Field after her. In addition, she was honored by the National Federation of High School Sports as their Coach of the Year, not just for field hockey. Upon retirement from Ocean City Field Hockey, she even coached the Ocean City Intermediate School Field Hockey team for a few years. Every summer, she returned and coached our alumni team with the same passion that she did when we wore our high school uniforms for her. To this day, we all still respond to that voice. Lately, she's even been seen with her traditional lollipops and gobstoppers, helping with the Upper Township Middle School Field Hockey team. Coach LeFevre coached hundreds of female student athletes, all of whom joined Ocean City Field Hockey for different reasons. Some of us wanted to get more fit, others were keeping in shape for another sport, some wanted to play in college, whether it be club, Division III, II, Division I, and still others wanted to make it to our national team. No matter what our goals were, Coach LeFevre helped all of us during our high school years to learn invaluable skills, gave us a second family, and a chance to experience winning traditions with Ocean City Field Hockey. As a result, when we left her program, we left with certain traits because she was much more than our coach, she was our teacher. Whether it was in or out of season, she taught us responsibility, respect for teammates, coaches, equipment, officials, and other teams, all while holding us accountable for our behavior on and off the field hockey field. In addition, we learned to set goals and became students of the game using our player notebooks. We set practice goals, game goals, and season goals every single year. She was never shy about letting us know she thought we could aim higher or go farther. We learned adages like early is on time is late, hit like a big girl, or how to fly in a V formation. No doubt about it, she was tough. especially on days she gave out uniforms. But she taught us the value of hard work and how to push ourselves. She believed you could, so you did. Whether it was the infamous 12-minute run, summer training programs, double sessions, endless defense drills, or countless reps on the jugs machine, she demanded we work as hard as we could. And when you did, you got rewarded. In my day, it was laminated symbols to pin on our bags, but in the end, it was beads. Each bead represented a different accomplishment. She also created a family atmosphere filled with lots of sisters each season. We had barbecues at our house, went kayaking, and became part of her Big and Little Sister program that not only helped us adapt to high school field hockey, but to the high school as well. She showed us how to support each other and challenge each other and how to hold each other to higher standards. Coach LeFevre was generous with her time. She took time out to help with the college recruiting process. She helped with resumes. She filmed us, wrote letters, made countless calls to coaches singing our praises. Additionally, when we, or anyone for that matter, came to her for field hockey wisdom or just for some coaching insight, she opened her vault and gave whatever you needed. Drills, practice plans, rules, policies, everything she had. No doubt she is a field hockey genius, but she is and was a role model to the hundreds of girls that participated in her program. And more, my family and I believe she is a loyal and loving partner to my dad, Paul LeFevre, which can be difficult. She loves and supports her family, especially her mom, Ronnie, and my grandmother, Connie, her brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, great-nieces, great-nephews. She is a generous friend to so many people. Most importantly, she is the best Mina to my kids that have ever lived. I am fortunate to know Coach LeFevre on many levels. I played for her, I coached for her, I coached against her, which was not fun. I coached with her, and now she coaches for me. And though I have learned so much from her in my field hockey journey, that is not what I am most grateful for. Over the years, she has been my coach, my teacher, my advocate, my sounding board, my role model, my biggest fan, always my biggest fan, my mentor, grandma to my kids, my friend, but most importantly, my mom. And I am forever grateful for the many influences she has had on my life.
Great job, Mina. We love you, and we are so proud of you.
Love you, and congratulations on this amazing honor. It is so well deserved.
Wow, that was incredible. Thank you so much, Tracy and Taylor and Troy. I would like to thank Dr. Taylor, Principal Matt Jamison, members of the Board of Education, and Athletic Director Vince Levy for reestablishing the Ocean City Sports Hall of Fame. This is simply incredible. I would like to thank the members of the Selection Committee for choosing me as a member of the Hall. With the amazing history of Ocean City athletics, I am truly humbled to be a part of this. Congratulations to all the inductees. This class is really something special. I would especially like to thank Tom Williams, who without question should be a member of our Ocean City Hall of Fame himself for the many, many contributions he has made to Ocean City athletics. There is no better reporter, announcer, and supporter of Ocean City High School athletics than Tom, and I appreciate all he has done to promote field hockey. I would like to quickly thank those Ocean City High School coaches who came before me. They established Ocean City athletics as a power in the Cape Atlantic League in South Jersey long before I arrived. Special thanks to a coach I consider to be a mentor as well as a friend, Pat Doherty. More than anyone, I especially want to thank my husband and former athletic director, Paul LeFevre. You were my greatest encourager, believer, and fan. You never minded the amount of time that I spent year-round on hockey, and you were inspirational to me with your own hard work and ethics. You made me believe in myself, and by the way, you're an absolutely excellent AD. Thank you so much to my mom and dad, who were always extremely encouraging of both my playing and coaching endeavors. They made it to every game possible and were always 100% supportive and reassuring. I could not have asked for better parents. I grew up as one of 7 children. We were all encouraged by my parents to participate in athletics, the girls just as much as the boys. So I followed my sister and idol, Ronnie's lead, and played field hockey and basketball at St. Basil Academy. I thank her for leading the way and being incredibly encouraging of all of my activities from day one. We were an extremely competitive household, not surprising, with 7 children, but probably none were more competitive than my brother Greg and I. He was an exceptional athlete, playing collegiate soccer, and I thank him for honing my competitive spirit and remaining my biggest advocate, and always believing in what we could accomplish. Thank you to all of the parents who not only allowed your children to play field hockey, but supported them every step of the way. To my players, if you think I was tough, I was. If you think I pushed you hard, maybe harder than you thought you could go, I did. It was because I believed in you. I believed in your potential to be great players, great students, and great human beings. I believed it was my duty to help you become the very best you could possibly be. And time again, you did. I am so proud of the women that you have become. Thank you. To the women who coached with me and were the real heroes, I thank you. I can't mention all of them, but I must mention just a few. All of my coaches were incredible hard workers who were extremely dedicated. I thank my first assistant coach, Sue Forrest, and the first volunteer coach, Jill Nardone. I thank all those who followed them, but none more than Christy Miller-Fenton, who was a star for us, a member of this Hall of Fame, and returned after a successful college career at Rutgers to bring fresh knowledge, youth, wisdom, and zest. She's just the best. Thank you to Cory Terry, Tracy LeFevre, Mackenzie Kuster, and Beth Pasternak, who made the later years of my coaching career so fun and satisfying. It is so rewarding and uplifting to have players return to the program to coach. Thank you all for staying on as a coaching staff, and thank you especially Cory. I know it wasn't easy. Thank you for stepping up and leading the field hockey program into a new and incredibly successful era. Thanks to my friend Carrie Merritt for all you have done and continue to do to make our athletes in every sport great, and especially in field hockey. Now that I'm retired, not only from coaching, but teaching as well, I get to spend time with some really incredible people. My grandchildren, Taylor and Troy. I love watching Troy at his karate events, and it totally warms my heart to watch Taylor play all of her sports, but especially field hockey. You two keep working hard and always do your best. I am very, very proud of you. I've been fortunate enough to achieve a great deal through field hockey. But nothing, not the awards, the wins, or even state championships, come close to the greatest thing that I received from field hockey. And that is my relationship with my daughter, Tracy. I was proud of you as a coach. I was proud of you as a teacher. I'm incredibly proud of you, and most proud of you as a mom and as a daughter. I know that you are the best mom that I know. Thank you all so very much for honoring me with the selection into the Ocean City Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Hall of Famer Trish LeFevre. Today we are adding a 9th team to the Ocean City High School Sports Hall of Fame, the 1997 field hockey team that finished 24-1 and won a state championship. Please welcome number 6, Meg Edwards. Number 7, Danielle Sen. Number 8, Kippy Geary. Number 15, Cory Pickett. Number 17, Ashley Wenzel. Number 18, Jenny Dotto. Number 26, Tiffany Kuster. Number 28, Abby Woolley. Number 31, Becky Juzwiak. Number 34, Teresa Cuscinado. Number 49, Kathy Shellcross. Number 51, Jen Cuscinado. And the coach of this team, recently inducted, Trish LeFevre.
I would like to introduce the 1997 state champion field hockey team to you as part of the Hall of Fame class of 2018. To say that this team is special to me personally and to the history of our field hockey program would be a massive understatement. This team went 8-0 in our division, 13-0 in the conference play, to win the division, conference, and overall Cape Atlantic League championships. We posted a 24-1 record to win our program's first South Jersey and state championships. We played the best competition at the time, which included Group 2 state champion Morristown, Cherokee, Washington Township, and Group 4 state champion Shawnee. This team became the standard by which all future teams would be judged. I love Dr. Taylor's reference to powerhouse. This was the ultimate powerhouse team. With a super talented Jen Cuscinado in a goal, a solid and stingy defense in front of her, including Jen Wilson, Karen Foster, Annie Degenhart, Teresa Cuscinado, and Becky Joswiak, they nudged 17 shutouts. We were well known as a rock-solid defensive team. We teamed that with the best midfield we had ever had, including Joy Consina, All-Star Cory Pickett, Danielle Sen, and Ashley Wenzel. They distributed, created, and supported, and they scored from the midfield. Our forward line scored a then record 89 goals. They were led by All-American Abby Woolley, with a South Jersey leading goals. Her were sophomore CA All-Star Megan Edwards, Kathy Shallcross, Tiffany Kuster, Kippy Geary, Caitlin McCann, and freshman Katie Allegretto. Julie Allen was our freshman coach and stepped up to assist as tournament time approached. Christy Fenton assisted with the varsity and was really an amazing force. She gave us offensive wisdom and experience that she brought from her time at Rutgers. She could have coached anywhere in the country, and we were so lucky to have her. This team is established one heart, one soul, one team, one goal as their season quote. And they remained true to this throughout the season. They were totally focused on the ultimate team goal, winning South Jersey and state championships. This team was incredibly unselfish. They spread it out and were thrilled no matter who scored. They were a super skilled team. They made outstanding out-of-season commitments. They were the first to play in a game on AstroTurf, something the players of today are so fortunate to experience all the time with a beautiful field right outside. They were captained by Abby Woolley, Joy Consina, and Annie Degenhart. Really, more than anything, I want to thank the team of 1997 and be sure you know just how much you are appreciated by me, the other coaches, and all of the players who have followed you. We want to thank you for breaking through that barrier that we had come so close to before but never achieved when you finally won South Jersey and state championships. We want to thank you for embracing the out-of-season programs and camps like Futures to raise the skill level. We want to thank you for being committed to fitness and to learning and to improving every single day. I want to thank you for being so silly, so funny, fun, and entertaining every day. This was the funniest team I ever coached. You, more than any team I coached, enjoyed yourselves and enjoyed each other. And it's a testament that so many of you were able to come here today. Thank you for allowing me to learn that we could have fun and still win, and win, and win, and win. Thank you for embracing each other and creating lifetime relationships. I see so many of you are still best of friends all these years later. Thank you for setting the standard so high and challenging all of our future teams to step up to that level. Thank you for giving me the honor of being your coach. Please help me to acknowledge the 1997 state champion field hockey team and the newest team inducted into the Ocean City High School Hall of Fame.
Congratulations, Coach LeFevre and the 1997 field hockey team. For those of you that are coming back for the first time, or haven't been over here in a while since the school's been built, they are available. There are tours available. They also have the school store open for the Ocean City merchandise you want to help purchase. Just to let you know, that does support the special ed program that we have here. And they'll be open until 3:30. We're happy you all could be here for us today and make this such a special moment for the new members of the Ocean City Sports Hall of Fame. The video of this program, recorded by Matt Ulmer, will be available online at oceancitysports.com. Special thanks to Mr. Craig Mensinger for organizing all the inductees and the teams in the back. Now we'd like to welcome the newest members of the Ocean City High School Sports Hall of Fame. Well deserved. All the people who are here, part of this presentation on the stage, including the members of the 97 field hockey team, should remain here for photos. There is a luncheon reception in the cafeteria at 1:30. Those who don't have tickets can purchase those. I'd like to thank you for attending the celebration of coaches, athletes, the field hockey team, and a general congratulations to the Hall of Fame class of 2018. Congratulations and thank you all for coming.